country, the market becomes disturbed. They feel uncomfortable, and some of the money has flowed out of the country because of this feeling in the market that something is wrong with the government. Sometimes I think that the market prefer to be told lies about how good we are than to be told the truth that we have to do a lot of cleaning up operation for this country. But I believe that with your help, the market would recover much more quickly. We are, of course, very interested in resuscitating the economy, and that will depend upon investments and trade, and we think that you can be relied upon to bring in more investors to Malaysia. I would like to say thank you for the amount of investment that has involved American companies, and some 250,000 people have gained employment. But we need to have more new investment because we have quite a lot of people who are unemployed, including graduates. We need to find jobs for them. But the people have been very kind to us. Actually, when we were preparing for the election, if we go by the sentiments of the people, we thought we could win easily. But we expected the government not to give in easily, that they would create some trouble when there is going to be a transition from the previous government to the new government. We thought that if we win by a very skimpy margin, then there will be a problem. But unexpectedly, we won with a good majority, which left no room for the previous government to create problems, and there is a relatively smooth transition from the old government to the new government. We are very grateful to that, but it all was due to the strong support by the people. Really very strong support. Despite the bribery and the corruption and all that, still the people came out to support us strongly. We told them that it's all right, you want to receive the money, please receive the money and the gifts, but don't vote for them. And well, the transition has taken place. Now it is our job to fulfill our promises. Of course, when we were thinking that we would not win, we made strong promises which today we find it difficult to implement. We say that in 100 days we will achieve 10 different promises, but now we are finding it quite difficult to meet our objectives in 100 days. But still, we are doing something about them, and we will still deliver on our promises, but it may take a little bit more time than 100 days. Still, the people are very strongly supportive of the government. They are tolerant. A lot of people say that we have to give time to this new government, very considerate of the people. But we are working very, very hard, day and night, to try to rebuild the economy of this country. We don't have very many people with experience because this is a government of the opposition. For 60 years, they have tried to defeat the government and they have failed, and now they have won, but they have no idea about how a government is run. It's much easier being outside criticizing other people, but it's not so easy when you are inside and you have to deliver. But we will deliver because it is our intention to do our very best. Now, the policy of the government is that we welcome partnership with the private sector. As you know, at one time we had Malaysia Incorporated, in which the government and the private sector work together as if Malaysia is one big corporation. Both will gain from so doing, but of course that approach was discarded by the last two prime ministers, and now we are bringing it back. We want to work closely with the private sector, which means, of course, we will be accessible to the private sector. If you have any ideas, any problems, we would like to hear, and we would like to take corrective action. That is our promise. And we are quite aware we do not know everything. There are lots of things that are known by the private sector which we never realize. But now we want feedback from you, and I can assure you that whenever we are criticized or told that we are doing something wrong, we will do our best to correct them. We want the private sector to work closely with the government because we like to see that you make a lot of money. That is because 26% of that money is ours. It is the best business by the government. We don't put up any capital, but the profit is shared with us. You have to put up capital, you may lose, that's your business, but when you make money, it's our business also. And because of that, we find that working with the private sector is a very good thing for any country. We don't want to be antagonistic, to be jealous of the money that you are making, because we know that the private sector will generate the wealth, create the wealth of this country. The government by itself cannot create wealth. Of course, we can print money, but very soon the value of the money will go down. But if we are enriched by collecting taxes from a very prosperous community, then we would be better off than if we were just to print money. So that is what we want to do. We want in particular to encourage foreign direct investment, particularly at this moment for high-tech industries, which needs people to be better trained. We have a lot of graduates who are unemployed today, but we will train even more people for the new kinds of industries based on IT and information technology, IT, and the electronics, etc. This is something that we have experienced before. The first time it was by this, the Chief Minister of Penang, the old Chief Minister, Mr. Dr. Lim Chong Yu. When he first thought of the idea of an electronics industry in Malaysia, we thought that he is a little bit off his head because we don't have any knowledge. No, we have no technology, we have no capital, we have no big companies, and we do not know the markets. So we cannot go into these industries. We could not. But he brought the electronics industry to Penang, and today I think some of the biggest export is the products of these electronic companies. We want to expand on that. We know that there are new technologies coming in. It's a matter of thinking how you can make use of the technology and the data that is now easily available to anyone who has some idea about doing business. Some of us, of course, have benefited from online marketing. That is the way to go, because now even a villager producing something in the village has the whole world as his market through this online marketing. And I know of a lady who makes cakes, and she tried to sell the cakes through the shops. She wasn't doing well, and then she decided to go online. Now she has 90,000 customers extending from Malaysia to the Middle East, selling cakes. So you can have access to a very big market, even if you are a small operator. But of course, big operators can have even bigger markets, because today the world is our market, no longer the village or the town or the country, but the whole world is open to us. So Malaysia presents a very good location for people to invest to supply the needs of the whole world. We have, I think, very good workers who can deliver products that are of high quality. One of the things I would like to say is that we have a plant that assembles the Mercedes car. And the Mercedes car assembled in Malaysia is as good as the Mercedes car that is assembled in Germany. That is why if you buy a Mercedes car in Malaysia, it is a Malaysian assembled Mercedes car. And the standard demanded by Mercedes, of course, is very, very high. But Malaysian workers are able to meet the standards that is required for such products. So we can train our Malaysians to produce good quality products that is acceptable to the world market. I was saying just now that a lot of people are worried about China, which is the factory of the world. But I had a chat with Mr. Jack Ma of Alibaba, and he told me that China now has 300 million middle-class people. And he says that China cannot meet the demands of these 300 million. They will have to import. And he says that people can invest in Malaysia for export to China. When China was poor, of course, it was not a very good market. But now that it is rich, it is a very good market. And I think we can benefit from that. Of course, they are quarreling a little bit with the Americans. But I hope that if America wants to export to China, they can export from Malaysia, made in Malaysia. And if the Chinese want to export to America, they can produce the products here. We'll put the label made in Malaysia. So everything that happens, whether good or bad, presents new opportunities for those who can see through the problems that are faced by them. I would like to say thank you to AmCham for all this while being very patient. I think you were waiting for us to come and rule this country again. So we have done that, so now you have to complement that by rising to the challenge of bringing in more business into Malaysia so that the money will be flowing in and not flowing out as happened before. We will deal with the problems faced by the country. We will overcome within, I hope, a short period, and we hope that we will once again be an attractive site for people to invest, and we will be very business friendly. I think that's all that I have to say. Maybe you have questions to ask. I will try to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Tun. I'd like to invite you.